Hello, welcome back to Lou's Lab, Stories in Science. Today, I'm going to share with you how I first learned about the Nobel Prize in Medicine. I know you're going to really like this story, so sit back and relax as we begin. October 12th, 1998 began with my attending a scientific conference advisory board meeting for a small biotech company in Nice, France. The company focused on developing novel anti-inflammatory drugs that worked by releasing nitric oxide selectively at sites of inflammation. I had been attending these meetings in Nice for several years and always enjoyed both the scientific discussions and the frequent walks along the beautiful sandy beaches 1 block away. I could never get enough of the south of France. And so today was no different from any of my prior visits. Or was it? Gazing out the window on a beautiful sunny morning in the final meeting of this 3-day conference, I began to daydream, and for no discernible reason, felt exceptionally content. I was so relaxed and peaceful that I dozed off for a moment. I promptly caught myself and sat up in my chair as if nothing had happened. Luckily, it seemed no one had noticed. Nevertheless, something was different about today, but I couldn't figure out what. After the meeting ended, we all wished each other a safe trip back home, and I went for a brief stroll on the boardwalk along the beach. Walking along the beach in Nice, France, brought back fond memories of my childhood days in Long Beach, New York, where I was raised. Once again, I felt an unusual aura of serenity, but I could not understand why. Perhaps it was because I was about to catch my flight to Naples, Italy, the birthplace of my father. At the invitation of one of my scientific colleagues at the University of Naples, I was to give a lecture on my research involving nitric oxide. I was always thrilled to visit Naples because it reminded me of Dad. And so I attributed my unusual calm to this upcoming trip. One of the company drivers took me to the Côte d'Azur airport in Nice, and I proceeded to collect my boarding pass and walk over to my departure gate. A few people were waiting in line, and I joined the queue. About 10 minutes later, an airport attendant walked over to the gate and, picking up a microphone from the desk, said, "Is there a Professor Ignaro here at the gate?" And I responded, "Yes, I'm Professor Ignaro over here." The young lady rushed over to me and handed me her mobile phone. "You have an urgent telephone call from Los Angeles." My mouth dropped open. I thought something terrible must have happened at home. The attendant told me to hurry up with the call because we had only a minute or so before boarding. Despite all the static in the line, I asked who was calling, and it turned out to be one of my close physician colleagues at UCLA. I immediately asked him if everything was okay with my lab and family. He responded, "Yes, all is good here. I'm calling to see how you feel." But I couldn't understand the rest of what he was saying because his voice was breaking up. Finally, I was able to comprehend. "Lou," he said, "I'm just calling to congratulate you." "Congratulate me for what?" "Lou, you mean to tell me that you haven't heard yet?" "Heard what?" I said in a loud, almost angry tone of voice. "You've been awarded the Nobel Prize in Medicine. Congratulations." Precisely at that moment, the attendant yanked the phone from my hand. "So sorry, sir, but we must board the flight right now." Bewildered and disoriented, I boarded my flight for Naples. It took only a few moments to reach my seat, but along the way, a million thoughts raced through my mind. Was I really awarded the Nobel Prize? Or was my colleague just joking with me as he often did? Was the prize for my work on nitric oxide? Was it for my neuroscience studies that led to Viagra? What was it for, if it was at all? As the plane departed, I sat back in my seat, but I couldn't relax one bit. The flight was only 40 minutes, and I would undoubtedly find out one way or another when I landed in Naples. But the flight felt more like 4 hours. In attempting to put my thoughts together, I vaguely recalled that the Nobel Prizes were announced early in October at about noon. Well, today was October 12th, and the plane had departed at noon. Okay, maybe, I thought. The plane approached the airport in Naples and landed smoothly. As we taxied to the gate, I looked out my window and saw hundreds of people on the tarmac waiting for the plane to pull up and park. Lots of them were taking photos with their camera flashes going off. Oh my God, I said out loud. It's true. It's true. Well, I hope you liked that story. I know I did. Thanks, and I'll see you in another episode coming very soon.